Hi, this is R Dymock. I'd like to introduce you to Harry Hawker, the subject of my latest book, A Great and Restless Spirit. Harry Hawker was an Australian-born test pilot, aircraft designer, racing car driver, speedboat racer, and all-round world beater. In his day he was a celebrity before there were celebrities, but he wasn't looking for fame. All he wanted to do was push the boundaries. He had a dream of speed that he pursued throughout his whole regrettably short life. If Harry Hawker was alive today, he'd probably be churning desert dust in the Dakar Rally, or strapped in a rocket on a SpaceX flight, or perhaps taking pole position in a Formula One race. But Harry made his name in a different era. He was 14 years old when the Wright brothers first flew into history early in the 20th century. And a few years later, when Harry saw the famous escape artist Harry Houdini make what was probably the first powered flight in Australia, he knew where his future lay. With a couple of mates, Harry headed to England. There he joined Sopwith Aviation and learned to fly in double quick time in the tiny fragile aircraft of the time. It wasn't long before he flew faster, higher and for longer than anyone else in Britain. His fellow pilots quickly recognised he was special. They could see the intense fire inside him and the inspired light in his eyes. When World War I swept across the globe like a tsunami in 1914, Harry not only survived, he thrived. He found a home with Sopwith Aviation in England and became one of its top wartime test pilots and designers, even though he'd left school at age 12. His boss, young Tommy Sopwith, thought Hawker was a genius. In the book you'll also meet Muriel, the remarkable Englishwoman Harry met in a London park. She kept his feet on the ground while he pursued his need for speed. If he couldn't find it in the air, he was a fierce competitor in racing cars and international speedboat races. But as a mother of two, Muriel sometimes worried about her husband's obsession with going when no one had ever gone before, especially when he disappeared attempting the first transatlantic flight. On the surface, Hawker was the epitome of his age: daredevil, competitive, intensely focused, ready to take on any challenge. A great and restless spirit. Yet beneath his larrikin exterior and public affability, there bubbled away an underlying weakness he seemingly discounted or denied. It was an heroic pose that would eventually result in a devastating outcome at a relatively young age. Others have written in various ways about Harry Hawker's life, but I've tried to write his story in a different way. In A Great and Restless Spirit, I've tried not only to portray Harry Hawker as an outstanding pilot and designer, a person of great technical skill and intellectual capacity, but also to show the person behind the legend, and to show more about his relationship with his wife, and to explore a bit more those underlying medical issues that finally contributed to his downfall. Despite the tragic end to his story, I hope you enjoy reading about Harry Hawker's short but eventful life, to see where his great and restless spirit took him, and to wonder.